It's CCSD Today with your host, Erica Taylor. This week, we get an inside look at Memminger Elementary School. Hear our exclusive interview with Principal Dr. Abigail Woods. And learn about the social and emotional learning and international baccalaureate programs. CCSD Today starts right now.
We're here in downtown Charleston at Memminger Elementary School. You're watching CCSD Today, and during this show you'll have an opportunity to learn all about the curriculum offerings and opportunities that the students who attend this school have. You're watching CCSD Today, and we'll be right back.
If it sizzles and crackles and comes from a kitchen, it's breakfast. If the aroma wakes you up, it's breakfast. Have breakfast for breakfast. The fresh made from our kitchen, the Egg McMuffin, only from McDonald's. So what are you having for breakfast?
Hi, and welcome to another edition of CCSD Today. I'm your host, Erica Taylor, and joining me today is the awesome principal of Memminger Elementary School, Dr. Abigail Woods. Dr. Woods, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, let's talk about Memminger. So we're 2 years old in this building, so it's fabulous. Tell us about it.
It's a beautiful building. We've only been here, like you said, this is our second year in. One of the unique things about our building is our multipurpose center and PE room are the footprint of a historic building, so that's a really unique piece to our building. Okay. It's just a really welcoming, warm, beautiful place.
Well, I love it, and I'm sure the parents do as well.
They do.
Well, let's talk about the curriculum, the IB curriculum. Share with our viewers what that is and how students are learning.
So one of the unique things we're doing right now is we're in year 2 of our authorization of IB, and that's International Baccalaureate Program, so we'll be a world school. In conjunction with that, we're doing personalized learning, and they fit really well together. Okay. The personalized learning really focuses in on individual learning targets for students. And that's going to fit well with the IB because the IB is a much broader base of learning and really encourages the students to be learners through their own eyes and being much more inquiry-based than the rather sit and get. So we're a really unique school and we're transitioning. It's very exciting.
Well, great. And I'm sure the teachers and the students are enjoying that as well.
They are, and they've had lots of training, so that's really important as well.
Oh, absolutely. And so with it being a world school, I know you, global studies is also a part of that. Talk a little bit about that.
So one of our focuses with that, we're really trying to do cultivate language, bilingual learners. So currently we have the younger kids taking Spanish 2 to 3 times a week. Wow. And we're really hoping to get another allocation for Spanish or another language so that the older kids can also have that experience. And then as a culminating experience, we'd like to take our kids for a real world experience, like overseas or a trip like that, so they can really have an experience of globalness and open-mindedness and really change their view of the world and the possibilities that they have.
So are the younger students enjoying learning another language?
Absolutely. I know that my little one comes home and singing the Spanish songs, and he's always very excited to see the Spanish teacher. He calls her Señorita Baja.
Señorita Baja, that's great. And I mean, just to know that, I guess 3, 4, 5-year-olds are learning another language, that must be something that the parents really appreciate as well.
They are, and they're really excited. When we were at our school choice fair last week, a lot of the parents were very excited to hear that their little ones would be involved in learning a second language.
That's awesome. So what else is going on here at Memminger?
Well, one of the big things we're doing is we're really cultivating a strong partnership with the College of Charleston. Okay. We're trying to get official professional development tag with them. We do a lot of partnerships. Today we have about 8 field study students coming in. We also have 4 graduate assistants working with the upper grades on a reading and writing workshop that aligns with the CCSD's writing curriculum, Lucy Calkins. Our staff are involved in a graduate level course to do writing. So there's lots of things going on with the College of Charleston. We're hoping to get some of their language interns to cultivate that language aspect. We also are really spreading out, doing a big PR thing, trying to recruit lots of families to Memminger and to really encourage and embrace the IB and personalized learning environment.
Well, that's awesome. So let's talk about the interns. What specifically are they doing for you?
So the graduate interns are really going into the classroom during the writing workshop time and individually helping students about where they are with their writing and encouraging them to take a step further. In addition, the course really focuses in on the IB aspect of who we are, and the teachers and the graduate assistants are really getting literature that focuses on students having positive perceptions of themselves. So that comes through in their writing, and that's how they're really encouraging the kids to write.
So since you are a personalized learning school, do all students have iPads, or do most?
So one of the really cool things the kids are doing, even the little ones, I had a teacher telling me yesterday what one of the 4-year-olds was doing. They have one-to-one iPads. They have, they do have games on their iPads, but they have lots of curriculum apps that we just purchased. ScoopPad, which is an individualized learning tool, and it's a diagnostic tool as well to help the teachers gauge where the students are, and the kids can use it. The kindergartners the other day were actually using their iPads to build a story. And so they were able to pick the characters, pick the animals, pick the background, and they wrote a sentence. And then they can continue that about a story. And then at the end of the week, they have this story they get to show. They can send it themselves. They can do a little movie about it. It's really amazing the things that the kids can do.
That's awesome. I mean, I see, iPad work with upper grades and, elementary, middle, and even through high, but to know that, you have 4-year-olds, 3-year-olds working on iPads is something that I think is going to help them in the long run as they transition throughout their educational career.
Especially when they have the opportunity to do a literacy skill like that and have their own thinking, and it's right there reflective, and they can come back to it. They get very excited. They also take pictures of themselves, which is also very funny.
So I think your location is unique too, because you're right in the heart of the historic district, if you will, of Charleston. So I'm sure that students have an opportunity and their teachers to engage in surroundings to, learn about Charleston and learn about our history.
One of the teachers are really excited about being back downtown, and they do lots of walking field trips. So recently, this couple of the students had brought crabs to school one day, and so they weren't going to do anything with them, so they walked them down to Colonial Lake and let them go. I hope they survived. They also, this week, they're doing the Big Mojo Festival at the library. And all of our little kids, 3 years old through 1st grade this week, have all gotten on the trolley and been able to go right over to the library to experience this story squad that's interactive and live storytelling. So the kids have been really excited about it. But those are the kinds of things that our teachers have access to, which really, again, is very unique and great for our students to go experience those kinds of things.
Absolutely. Is there anything that I haven't asked you that you want to share?
I just think Memminger has a really unique place in Charleston County, and I think we are going to be really a spotlight in the next coming years. As we combine the personalized learning and the IB program, I think we're really going to see an increase in our scores, and I think we're going to see an increase in our diversity, and I think we're going to see a really great place for learning and kids to grow.
Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And Memminger is a great place for our students to learn and grow. You're watching CCSD Today, and we'll be right back.
I'm Jenna Dewan Tatum.
I'm Julia Ormond.
I'm Machen Amick.
And I'm Rachel Boston.
Every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer.
Breast cancer will claim over 39,000 lives this year.
But that won't be me.
Or me. I won't let that be me.
The end of breast cancer starts with me.
And you.
And you.
And you.
Go to mylifetime.com to get informed and involved.
Brought to you by Cruise Chevy. You've got a friend in the car business.
If it sizzles and crackles and comes from a kitchen, it's breakfast. If the aroma wakes you up, it's breakfast. Have breakfast for breakfast. The fresh made from our kitchen, the Egg McMuffin, only from McDonald's. So what are you having for breakfast?
Welcome back, and you're still watching CCSD Today. I'm still here at Memminger, and now joining me is 4th grade teacher, Mr. Kenneth Joyner. Mr. Joyner, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Well, great. So talk to me a little bit about Engaging Creative Minds. I understand that you use that program, or they come in and work with your students and you.
Yeah, absolutely. Outstanding program with Engaging Creative Minds. What they did last year when they came in is we read a book, and the kids actually got an opportunity to write the music for the book. So we read through it. They came in, worked with our students. It really helps with hands-on, real learning. And then after they wrote the music, they were able to go to the Charleston County Symphony Orchestra and actually hear it played. So
that's awesome.
It was outstanding. And they've been helping us with our curriculum. So whatever our curriculum is, we try to work that with Engaging Creative Minds to bring real-world application to our curriculum.
So what are they doing this year?
Today, and actually they just finished today, but today they're working on Native American, different types of artists and different types of tribes. We're studying that in our curriculum, and they came in and talked in various languages and different things for us. And so it was great, again, to bring it into real world for the kids.
Okay, so this is your second year here at Memminger. So just talk a little bit about the school experience for you as a teacher.
Well, I love being here. I mean, everybody knows that I love being here. I love being able to service these children. And it's a great environment for our kids. I learn as much as I teach from our kids because the kids, they have a way of telling you, how they want to learn. And so it's been a great experience for me. We have a great staff, of course, great faculty. And I learn through our personalized learning model that how to teach our kids and how they stretch themselves. And once they see their own progress going, then that kind of gets the ball rolling for them. And to see their growth, then they're really interested. They become vested in their own learning. So I really enjoy that part of it as well.
Okay, do you have any unique stories you want to share with me about a certain student that you paid a little bit more attention to, and now you see them, doing such great things?
Well, I've had several. One of my favorite students last year was Xavier Brown, and he, when he first came in, he didn't feel the confidence. He didn't have the confidence in his writing or his reading, but he was very sociable, and so we used that to help him and draw from his life experiences to help him write better, to help him read better. We actually bought him some glasses and got him focused more, and just to see his whole behavior and demeanor turn around when he actually realized that he could learn.
I hear a lot of stories about teachers who go above and beyond for their students. I mean, to purchase glasses, I hear about uniforms, I hear sometimes even about meals. And I mean, I think that you all do a fantastic job. One of the things that Dr. McGinley says all the time is that the victories in the classroom, and I truly believe that doing the show, I get an opportunity to go to different schools, meet teachers and see how they interact with their students. And I am just so impressed by what we do here at Charleston County School District. Talk to me just a little bit, because we've talked about IB and personalized learning, but I also talked with Mrs. Anderson about the social emotional learning. Tell me how you work with that in your class.
Well, Ms. Anderson's been great because we're really trying to teach kids, again, with our IB model, just how to care, how to have empathy for one another, and really how to be, again, vested in their own learning. And so when Ms. Anderson comes in and kids get actually taught how to practice that, because I think that practical learning for them brings the message home, a lot more. And so when they actually see empathy in practice, when she's actually telling them to recognize those words and see it in action, then it becomes real for them. And once it becomes real for you, then you actually practice it.
Well, that's awesome, because she was talking to me about the focus binoculars. And I mean, just the concept in and of itself is something that I'm definitely interested in. And I told her I'm going to come back and sit in one of her classes and actually see her talk about this program to the students. Is there anything I haven't asked you that you want to share?
Well, again, just being here at Memminger is a great reward for me every day. Every day I come in, I'm excited. I know this is my purpose. I know this is my passion. And I get to, all teachers get to touch the future, and that's what it's about.
Well, thank you so much for touching the future here at Charleston County School District. You're still watching CCSD Today, and we'll be right back.
If it sizzles, and crackles and comes from a kitchen, it's breakfast. If the aroma wakes you up, it's breakfast. Have breakfast for breakfast. The fresh made from our kitchen, the Egg McMuffin, only from McDonald's. So what are you having for breakfast?
I'm Jenna Dewan Tatum.
I'm Julia Ormond.
I'm Machen Amick. And I'm Rachel Boston.
Every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer.
Breast cancer will claim over 39,000 lives this year.
But that won't be me.
Or me.
I won't let that be me.
The end of breast cancer starts with me.
And you.
And you.
And you. Go to mylifetime.com to get informed and involved.
Brought to you by Cruise Subaru of Charleston. You've got a friend in the car business.
Welcome back to CCSD Today. I'm your host, Erica Taylor, and we're still at Memminger, and now joining me is school counselor, Mrs. Anderson. Thank you for joining me, Mrs. Anderson.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for coming to Memminger.
Well, thank you. So talk about social and emotional learning.
Absolutely.
What's that curriculum like? And I understand you may be an inaugural premier school.
I think we are. I think we're the only school in Charleston County Elementary to implement a school-wide social and emotional learning curriculum.
Okay.
I tell students all the time that I feel like I have the best job at Memminger because I actually get to interact with every student here. And so we decided to do a social and emotional learning curriculum that's evidence-based, research-based. Awesome. And one of the reasons when we were deciding this as a team is that social and emotional learning is not only a skill for school, but it's a life skill. Right. And it's divided into different units. And we talk about skills for learning. I'm so proud that all of our students here know what empathy means, and actually we are role-playing a lot of empathy acts, and next we'll go to emotional and emotion management.
Well, I mean, that's so interesting. Tell me more. And you talk about implementing it school-wide. I mean,
Absolutely.
What does that look like?
Well, we follow the American School Counselor Association standards here, and so what that means is that I go or push into the classrooms for classroom counseling, every classroom here at Memminger, and then what I do, the teachers follow up with that in the social and emotional learning curriculum. So I may go in and teach a lesson on listening with attention, and that really means focus, and then the teachers actually supplement that lesson for the next 4 days when they practice with students putting on their focus binoculars, or they talk about self-talk, and that's something that we have them repeat to themselves, and that they can control their focus and their listening skills.
So talk to me a little bit about these focus binoculars.
Oh, focus binoculars. The great thing about implementing a school-wide SEL program is that you can walk down the hallways and a teacher will say, let's put on our focus binoculars, and it actually just means that you put on this. Absolutely, and then you actually open them up, but you stay focused on either your subject, the person who's speaking to you, or actually your schoolwork. And when you stay focused, you can avoid distractions, because we all have distractions. And we not only are implementing this in the classroom, but also I'm having them take these skills home. And so when their mom or dad tells them to do something, they're focusing their attention on what they're saying, and they're doing those self-talk where they repeat, like, brush my teeth, put my shoes on, get my backpack. And so I'm challenging them each week to go home and use these skills that they're learning in the classroom with their parents. So
it's research-based. So what's the intended outcome for a school-wide
Absolutely. Well,
engagement?
One of the great things is academic achievement. There has been research, and the program that we're using is a 20-year program that is evidence and research-based, and academic achievement is a huge, huge pro for using a social and emotional learning curriculum. It means that students actually, when they're talking about that self-talk and they're taking a test, they believe in themselves, and they can use the words like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. And it also creates perseverance and grit. And those are things that we talk about when we talk about IB and our personalized learning environment.
Awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about SEL?
I think right now the unit we're working on is empathy, and I'm so proud of them. Like I said, they know what that word means, but more importantly right now we're talking about how to be empathetic. We're using real situations that they bring back to me each week, and we talk about looking at something from someone else's point of view or walking in someone else's shoes, which I believe is the foundation. October we're kicking off the National Anti-Bullying Month, but really being empathetic and being an empathetic friend and an empathetic learner is the key to putting bullying behind us.
Absolutely, and we are going to put bullying behind us because we have a district-wide anti-bullying campaign that you're going to learn a little bit more about later on during the month. Mrs. Anderson, thank you for joining me here today.
It was a pleasure.
And you stay tuned. CCSD Today will be right back.
I'm Jenna Dewan Tatum.
I'm Julia Ormond.
I'm Machen Amick.
And I'm Rachel Boston.
Every 2 minutes, a woman is diagnosed with breast cancer.
Breast cancer will claim over 39,000 lives this year.
But that won't be me.
Or me.
I won't let that be me.
The end of breast cancer starts with me.
And you.
And you.
And you. Go to mylifetime.com to get informed and involved.
Locally sponsored by Ford. Ford is in the race for the cure.
If it sizzles and crackles and comes from a kitchen, it's breakfast. If the aroma wakes you up, it's breakfast. Have breakfast for breakfast. The fresh made from our kitchen, the Egg McMuffin, only from McDonald's. So what are you having for breakfast?
You're still watching CCSD Today, and we're still here at Memminger. Now joining me is the IB coordinator, Mrs. Hauser. Thank you so much for joining the show.
Thank you for having me, Ms. Taylor. I'm happy to be here today.
Well, great. So let's talk about IB.
Great. We're really excited in the direction that we're moving right now. IB stands for International Baccalaureate.
Okay.
And we're currently in the candidacy phase towards becoming an IB school for the primary years program. And so here at Memminger, we have students that begin as early as our full-time 3-year-old program that would be exposed to the primary years program all the way to our current 6th grade.
Okay.
So it's really exciting. The program is all about getting the kids really engaged in critical thinking skills, making their learning really relevant and exposing them more to the world around them by 6 transdisciplinary units that are wrapped up with central ideas to make the learning more conceptual for the students.
So can you give me some examples of what that looks like?
Yeah. Some of the big central ideas and the big questions with the transdisciplinary themes include, for example, who are we or where are we in place and time? So it's getting the kids to think deeper, and some of the larger concepts might be conflict, and then the students kind of taking a look at conflict, thinking deeper about, not only maybe taking it through history with wars, but maybe what kind of conflicts they experience in their life, and bringing in a social awareness to that. It also connects with our 10 learner profile words, to teaching the kids to really make connections through social awareness to bigger ideas so that they can make connections to their learning.
So talk to me about how the students feel about IB.
IB is really exciting here at Memminger. Their kids are really enjoying the opportunities to be exposed to lots of new information and ideas, and making a lot of more connections to the knowledge that they're learning. It's including a lot of new experiences in and out of the classroom, field trips around Charleston. We're bringing in a lot of guests into the classroom to speak with our partnerships with the college and engaging creative minds. So it's really bringing the learning to life, and kids are able to think deeper and ask more inquiry-based questions. That's getting them to really make some relevant connections outside the classroom door.
I'm sure that's exciting. So we talked a little bit about Dr. Woods about personalized learning, but can you go into depth about that as well?
Yeah, definitely. The exciting thing that's going on at Memminger is that we are one of the 19 piloted schools with personalized learning with Charleston County, and we're in the 2nd year with personalized learning, and also going IB with our candidacy phase, bringing the two together. And so our teachers have been really busy looking at the two and making connections, because personal mastery is all about individualized learning targets for the kids. So really looking at the specific areas of the children, where they are, basing their instruction to meet their needs, goal setting with the students, and empowering them, the kids, to make choices and having a voice in their learning. So really IB and personalized learning are a perfect married, relationship together, because the kids are able to be more empowered, have a voice, and then with IB, the element is that they take action with their voice and having a choice in their learning. So the learning is all based not more on a time base traditionally, but more on a performance base to their individual needs. So the teacher is taking a larger concept with IB and really breaking it down so that they really understand the individual needs of every individual student in their classroom. So it's really exciting.
So I'm certain that community members and parents who are watching this show are just as excited about IB and personalized learning. Mrs. Hauser, thank you so much for joining us today on CCSD Today. We're still at Memminger, and we'll be right back.
If it sizzles and crackles and comes from a kitchen, it's breakfast. If the aroma wakes you up, it's breakfast. Have breakfast for breakfast. The fresh made from our kitchen, the Egg McMuffin, only from McDonald's. So what are you having for breakfast?
So there you have it, another exciting show. We want to thank everyone here at Memminger who served as guests. We want to thank the faculty, staff, and students who make this school a success. We also want to thank our proud sponsor, McDonald's, for all that you do to support education and enrich the lives of children. You've been watching another edition of CCSD Today. I'm your host, Erica Taylor. We'll see you next week.